Okay, and we're recording. Hi.
Awesome.
Nice to
Hi.
meet you, and
Nice to
welcome
meet
to the
you.
podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so truly honored.
Welcome. Yeah, I thought it would be interesting because you're hosting a radio show, so that's a complete other part of the whole music scene.
hmm
And I think, that could lead up to some amazing, let's say, amazing talks about that and your experiences and
Yeah,
whatsoever. Do you want to give a quick introduction about yourself?
sure. So I'm Whitley, known online Whitley 360. I am a volunteer community radio DJ on 91.3 FM CJTR Access Now Community Radio. My show's called Lunar Lounge, and I'm live Wednesday nights from 7 to 9 p.m. And I do a lot of like lo-fi, chill hop, all sorts of electronic, ambient, you name it, out of this world music.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
how long are you doing the radio show now?
Just shy of 2 years. I'll be doing my 2 years right away here, my anniversary show for that. So I started in 2023.
Okay, 2 years is a long time. And a lot of dedication to do that for every week. You have one show per week, right?
It's actually 2 new shows a month, and then on my off weeks, there's a replay of the week before.
Okay, so 2 shows per month.
Yeah.
And how is that? Do you have to go to the radio and host it from there, or can you do everything remotely?
You can do everything remotely. I choose not to. I feel like you lose a lot of that, like, feeling that it is like radio. I like doing it live. I've done a couple pre-records, but I don't feel like it has that same energy and feeling to it. And I don't want to like be in that position where I can like, I didn't like that take, let's do it again. Because knowing me, I would just do it 1,000 times. And I think it's kind of cute and funny when I like kind of stumble a little bit. It makes it more authentic, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. And so there's like this full-on radio setup that you go there and you have this whole studio. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So what's going on there behind the scenes? Tell the funny stuff. What's happening in the radio studio?
Not a lot. We are now part of Access Communications, which is like a internet telephone service provider. They had taken over our broadcasting license. That's a whole long story. We won't get into that. So we just have a studio within their headquarters building, and there's somebody there before me, and we switch off like really quick. I got like a minute to like plug my stuff in and be live. And yeah, that's pretty much what it's like. When I was doing the late night shows, Thursdays 11 to midnight, there's nobody there. It was like ghost town, so it was nice. I'd get there early and set up and no one after me. I was literally the last show of the night. So,
oh, that's crazy. Like, it can also be like a super scary feeling being like all alone in a big studio.
A little bit, but like it's a pretty nice place, and they got like security and cameras and stuff. So I'm not
okay, sweet.
And they have staff working all the time, like customer service stuff.
Okay, I see. And is it broadcasted only like online, or also can you like listen to it?
It's like an actual radio station in our city. Like you can tune in on the radio, 91.3 FM.
That's so
and
cool.
Tune in live. Yeah. And it is available online. You can either listen live online, or you can go back afterwards and listen to the show on the archive.
That's so cool. Yeah, I just went into you doing this Spotify playlist recaps, right? With all the tracks you played. I listened to those. I have to actually listen to the full radio show, like with the moderation. That would be super interesting.
Listen to my show with the moderation?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I hope you like what you hear. I do put a lot of thought and effort into every show. Try to support people.
The playlists are great. I mean, the music selection, I really enjoy that. Doing a great job at that.
Thanks.
Yeah, I know a lot of the other producers that are on your track list. So it's so cool how you kind of pick something from so many creators.
With some of you artists, and like I didn't realize like how many of you know each other, right? Like we're all such a big community, and I'm like a part of that too. And it's like I didn't know you. Like I messaged you the other day. I didn't know you'd done a track with Patrick Moonbird, and he's amazing. I love him. He's one of my favorite local artists for me. And I was like, what? You worked with Patrick? Amazing. So just goes to show like how small but like interconnected we all really are. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And yeah, I then remembered, I guess he's one of the artists that reached out to me after I set up this one ad where I was looking for different instrument players because I cannot play any instrument. I have a guitar here in the background, but can't play it.
It's decorative only.
Yeah, it's from a friend of mine who was here for a visit and the jam session. Exactly. Cool. So yeah, for me it's also interesting to see like some of the perspectives because I only know like what other artists think about music and how it how the whole vibe of this whole lo-fi community is from the artist side. And you're kind of you're coming from this radio side, but also from the, let's say, listener and fan side. And that's so much different, when producing tracks and then listening to music. You always kind of overanalyze like the details and see if you get like inspiration from this one little thing the other artist made. And it would be interesting to get like some perspectives on the whole lo-fi music, how it's for you as the radio host and listener. What drives you to this music, first of all? Like
what first got me into like lo-fi?
Yeah, exactly. Or what's like what, especially from lo-fi, is like cool to listen or brought you to the idea of making a radio show just with chill music?
Okay. Well, I've always been a fan of lo-fi since like, I don't know, like 2018, maybe even before that. Like the DJ Cutman, Game Chops, YouTube streams. I love the video game remixes because I'm a huge video game player myself. And then I discovered like, oh man, there's these like cool chill songs with these like iconic video game music. I fell in love with it instantly. And I was like, listen to these while I'd be gaming and playing Minecraft, And then for starting my show, I was kind of going through a little manic episode in my life, and I wanted to do something just completely out of my comfort zone. Like I'm a very introverted, kind of shy, soft-spoken person in real life. And I had already been introduced to community radio as a listener for a while. I had a few friends who were involved with the station, and a lot of people encouraged me to do it. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And just like kind of looking at the schedule and like what was on there, I was like, there's not really like any lo-fi programs. And I talked to some people, they're like, yeah, we've never had anybody do like mostly lo-fi. And when I first started, I wanted it to be just lo-fi. But the problem I encountered is we have a law for the CRTC where you have to have 35% of what you play or broadcast has to be Canadian content.
Okay.
And me, I liked all these artists, but I did not know where any of them were from. I'd never connected with any of them because as a listener, you don't really look into where an artist is from. They're just, Sad Gatamon is that cool little like Gatamon lo-fi girl picture to me. So I didn't know like where any of these artists are from, they're just artists to me. So that kind of like sparked my journey. And I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to go multi-genre then. That's why I included like some of the more ambient and like electronic and chill hip hop kind of stuff, because it just widened my ability to meet the CanCon requirements for my show. So that's how I picked it. There just wasn't really any lo-fi being played, and I'm a huge lover of lo-fi. Everyone has always called me the lo-fi girl. So I started with that. Then I started, looking into where artists is from and building this list of like Canadian artists who were lo-fi and other genres and just connecting with them and building. And now here I am.
Interesting. Yeah, I can imagine that this being kind of a hard spot because really a lot of the lo-fi artists want to be like incognito.
Anonymous.
Yeah, and don't really share a lot of personal information.
No, I've really had to dig deep and like almost kind of creepy stalker level, trying to like really find out where people are from. But I found like the easiest way is just reaching out, like just sending them a message. And at first it was like, oh my gosh, these artists that are so huge to me, they responded to me. And it's like, they're just normal people like you or like myself, you know, and they're just people.
Yeah, that's a cool thing. I kind of had similar experiences when reaching out to lo-fi artists. You usually get a reply. Like in 90% will get a reply. And yeah, that's the best thing about the community is that the people are super chill.
Totally.
But yeah, I just had like this kind of imagination in my head, reaching out to an artist. Hey, I really like your music. Where are you from? Maybe I can put you on the radio. Are you from Canada?
Yeah. A little bit. And if like they did have in their bio, like they were from Canada, a good follow-up question for me is, do you know any other Canadian artists I can connect with? So I can kind of network and build that way. And that's been incredibly helpful too, because it's connected me with a lot more people that I either was listening to already and didn't know they were Canadian or had never even heard of them before.
Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely. Also, yeah, you're well connected with Lo-Fi Cody, also a good friend of mine and previous podcast guest.
Twice.
Yeah, exactly. And he knows so many people.
He's been a great resource, great connection for me. I'm very grateful to have been able to connect with him. Actually, I didn't even discover him through his video game music. I was just diving like different lo-fi recommendations from playlists on Spotify. And it was the song Making Poor Decisions with Confidence. And I was like, this is kind of, it's one of his originals. I was like, you know, this is kind of a jam. And I was like, who's Lo-Fi Cody? And I look, I'm like, oh my God, he's Canadian. And I went to his library and I saw all the like lo-fi video game music. Not that I like exclusively play that, but I have a soft spot for it. And I just was like, I just hit the jackpot. And I like reached out to him immediately. I was like, oh my gosh, Cody, like, tell me more. I need to know everything about you. Let's connect. And it's just, he's been so great since.
Yeah, he's a super cool guy. Like what I know from him, he's like amazing as a person, as when we chatted.
Just an all-around good human.
Yeah, all around as a human, he's so fantastic. That's super cool. But also this this rule of having like 35% have to be Canadian, is that like a rule for every single Canadian radio show?
There is some exceptions, like if you have like a multicultural program where you're not going to be able to meet like CanCon, like you're doing like K-pop or like J-pop or even like some Nigerian music. It's going to be nearly impossible to like meet that because that music is not Canadian, right? And there's a system called Maple, MAPL, where the artist has to meet so many of these criteria to be considered Canadian content.
Oh, crazy.
Like a great example is you'd interviewed Axel Boss.
Yeah.
And he's not Canadian, but he is in Canada. And I went and checked out his library after your podcast because I never heard of him. And I was like, hey, he's got some good music. I'd like to play him. But does he count as Canadian content? Can I use him for Canadian content? Because I'd love to feature him more. I would feature him regardless. But and I just messaged him. I was like, hey, like I found your music through Relaxicorn. You're great. Do you have residency or citizenship in Canada? Because you need one of those two to like be considered Canadian content. And he's like, yeah, I'm a permanent resident. And I was like, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so that already counts. That's cool.
Yeah. So he would be considered Canadian content.
Yeah, and I mean K-pop, this is Canada pop, right? So you can feature that. No, just kidding. Okay, yeah, I totally see that. Because yeah, I'm from a small country, Switzerland, and in our radios, it's nearly impossible to get that rule down. There are not many,
and like
not enough artists for that.
It was kind of a pain at first, right? Because I struggled with it because I just didn't know that many people. I really had to put a lot of time into diving, but I understand it now because it's a good way to like promote local, right? Support, Canadian artists. And like, that's a huge export for Canada. Like we have so many amazing musicians across all genres. And I just think that's really awesome that we have that rule to like really make sure that they're being represented in the media.
Yeah, that's a valid and good point. How is it? I have this one friend who was also a guest on the podcast, Chad Papp.
Yeah.
He used to be a resident Canadian, but then moved to Scotland. Would that count as well or not? Because he's doing great music. I can definitely recommend you checking that one out.
You know, I think he does. I think he would still be considered because he is Canadian. Like I said, he has to meet the certain criteria. I could pull it up here, but I believe he would, and like any music that he produced in Canada for sure would be.
Okay, yeah. I see.
But now, like, it gets tricky. Like, let's say that you're like the main artist on a track, and then you have Lo-Fi Cody kind of like as the secondary artist for credits. Like, that's where it gets tricky because you're like the producer of the track, right? So I really have to be careful and like look at the rules for that when I like claim things as Canadian content. But I always make sure I have like more than enough just in case like they go, oh, that's not actually Canadian content. You didn't meet your quota for this show. Like, I'm not even sure what the repercussions would be, but
that's an interesting question because let's say I made a few collabs with Lo-Fi Cody, and the thing is we both kind of count in as the main artist. There's not it's not a feature, you know. In case of a feature, that would be more clear because then the feature is kind of like only the feature and not a part of the main artist. But in that way, we are kind of both the main artist. So it should actually count. But yeah, it would be interesting if you check that out.
Just in case. I just want to make sure I'm covering my bases. And now I have like a list of so many artists, like well over like 50 or 60 easily, just lo-fi. So I'm like no trouble like finding people that fit the bill.
That's true. And the good thing for you is that like most lo-fi artists put out new music each week. So if you're like following 40 of them and let's say, most of them put out a new track each week, then you have like 80 songs to dig through all 2 weeks when it comes to your show. So makes it easy, I guess.
Definitely helps.
Okay. Then let's switch the topic from the radio for a quick.
Okay.
You say you really love like playing video games, and I have this content a lot on the podcast, so I'm very interested to hear like what's your favorite games at the moment?
Big into Pokemon.
Sweet,
I just started. I'm taking a break for it for now. I'm like a lifelong Pokemon fan, but I just had gotten into Stardew Valley.
Oh, that's a good one.
And I love those type of games, like the Harvest Moon kind of style. Like that's always been a genre I'm like drawn to, like Rune Factory, games like that. I'm a big like classic RPG fan, like Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, Secret of Mana. I love those games. Breath of Fire.
And currently, you're playing still Pokemon no, not the Platinum.
Shining Pearl.
Shining Pearl is the one you're playing.
That one's really nostalgic for me, so I have logged a few hours into it. I played a ton of it back in the day when it first came out. I got really big into shiny hunting. I was even like being a little shiny dealer online back in the day.
Oh yeah,
and like random number generator to like make shiny eggs or get specific shiny Pokemon, and then I was like flipping them online for things. And
oh, interesting.
No, I don't do that anymore. That was like my early 20s, but yeah, it's been really nostalgic for me to like play this game. Now I'm like shiny hunting again and I'm having fun with it. So it's great.
I recently saw a video like that. That's the initial NFT thing, like hunting for shinies and selling them online. Like you get a random, because it's kind of random to get them. You have to really go for them, and then they get a value, and you can sell them.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the prequel to NFTs.
It is. It really is, though. Other than that, I just like those kind of games.
Like also Pokemon. The cozy games. It's kind of all considered cozy games. Okay,
Yeah,
less
I'd say I'm
Final
mostly a
Fantasy.
cozy
Yeah,
gamer. Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, Rune Factory will get like the sixth Rune Factory will come out pretty soon, if I have it right in my head. It should actually it should be out this month. Probably they postponed it, but yeah, or early this year it should come out. I'm very hyped for this one as well.
I'm really looking forward to Fantasy Life 2. That comes out next month.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know if you remember the first one. I played the heck out of that with a bunch of friends, and it was really good. A little dialogue heavy, so I hope it's not so dialogue heavy, the second one, but I really love the gameplay, and I'm really excited that they finally made a new one.
Yeah, that was a huge game. I remember playing the first of them as well, like many hours. And it's also, they took their time to make the second part.
Yeah, it's been, I don't know
10
how many years, but
I guess.
It feels like 10 years. It's got to be at least.
Yeah, I think I was still under age when it came out. I was like 17 or something. Yeah, it's more than 10 years back. Crazy. But also, I think for a game publisher, that's a good thing. To take their time and create a good game and not just put out a new version each year.
That's so typical, like especially like sports games. I don't want to like bash on any sports fans, but like every year there's like a 2K this, 2K that, 2K.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not a big fan of the sport games just because also not all of them are in the same category, but let's say the worst is like FIFA. It's like online casino. I heard from people like spending thousands of dollars each month just to open like packs that get literally worthless 1 year later with the new edition of the game. That's so dumb.
Yeah.
I really don't get that. And this game it got a big fan base, and it really kind of forces you, if you're playing it a lot and you want to have a good team, to spend a lot of money for that, just to restart at zero a year later. That's so bad.
Yeah, I'm not big into like the microtransactions and the digital gambling. It's never really appealed to me. I mean, if you have the money and you want to waste it, by all means, but
I mean, it's not always like super bad. I mean, I played Diablo for a long time, and like spending now and there like $20 on a very cool skin that you can use over and over, that's okay, but it doesn't give you any let's say you are not better than the other with the skin. It doesn't give you like what's the word?
An advantage.
Advantage, exactly. It doesn't give you advantage, and then it's totally okay. But as long as it gives you advantage over the other players, that's
and then
such a scam.
The pay to win.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like that. It's just takes the fun out of it for the people who are poor who can't afford to pay to win.
Yeah, true. Oh, I'm so hyped. I guess it should come out this weekend, the remake of Oblivion from Elder Scrolls. I saw like hundreds of videos like within the last 2 days on social media that they will just drop it without like a big announcement. It just leaked that it will come out on the Eastern weekend. So I'm so curious. I already checked the shop today. It wasn't out on the PS, but I really want to play that game as long as I got some days off.
Oh yeah, I love a lot of the Elder Scrolls game. Oblivion, that's classic. I played the crap out of that game back in the day too.
Yeah, I haven't really played a lot of the Oblivion. I started it. It was I got like a secondhand Xbox 360, and I could like play it for a month and some other games, and then it got that this red laser thing when the Xbox just
Oh yeah, the
breaks.
red rings of death.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It got that, and I was like, oh no. Yeah, and as a child, I couldn't afford like to get a new console.
I went through 2 Xbox 360s when I was a teenager because of Red Rings of Death, and I was like, I can't afford this, and literally, it's like not fixable. Fable did that to my game, the original Fable.
Oh, Fable. Or have I got you right?
Yeah, Fable.
Yeah, Fable was a great one.
Yeah.
I also played that in this 1 month before the console died. Oh, awesome. I just had a question in mind about you now had back to the radio, you switched to a new slot and have a longer show now, right? And you also texted me something that you want to do also like artist interview and such.
I do. I actually just interviewed somebody last night, but I'm not airing the interview until my 2-year anniversary show in May. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, I'm going to start interviewing artists. I had before. It's just really hard to like have a good solid interview in a 1-hour program and still have music as well without it becoming like a talk show, you know? Like I didn't feel like it gave me enough time to really like spotlight the artist, and I didn't want to just have them on for like a quick 10-minute chat. I really wanted to like give the artist more opportunity to speak and get to know them. Your podcast was a big inspiration for me to like, hey, let's actually get back to doing that. Now I have the 2-hour program. I applied for it. I was like, hey, it's happening.
Okay, but this needs to be like pre-recorded, I guess.
It doesn't necessarily have to. I do it just for my own comfort level because I feel like taking that on and doing it live, like I could like hook up a phone and call somebody. Like that's totally possible and like air it live. There's the possibility somebody slips up and swears. That's a huge no-no. Just for comfortability, because I feel like people are a little less nervous if it's not live and it's just pre-recorded. And just my own comfortability too. And then I can like edit things. And if there's like I fumble on words or they fumble on words, I can edit things and yeah.
And you have to beep out so if they swear. Yeah, that's okay, that's true. I mean, that's the radio.
That's just my preference. You don't have to do it. There's lots of hosts that do. No, there's lots of hosts that do live, even live in studio. It was back in November. I was on the Saturday morning show. Shout out to the Philp side, Andy Philp. He had me come on as a guest host, and we had a local artist, the Corner Hotel, come on, and I got to interview him for a segment on the show. And he also did like an in-studio live performance as well.
Oh, that's
interesting. Electronic artist, yeah. So I feel like having a 2-hour program as well gives me more opportunity for things like that in the future once I'm a little bit more comfortable and settled in.
And is for like the interview part, you are also kind of restricted with only interviewing Canadian guests, or is that totally open? It's more about the music itself. So
right,
35% of the music have to be Canadian music. Interesting.
Yeah. You know, when you have like you're doing a 2-hour program now, it's like 40 songs in a playlist. I'm not even kidding. That's even adding some like 5-minute tracks. Gosh, if it was all just like 1-minute, 2-minute lo-fi tracks, that's a huge playlist. And then, 35% of that's like 16 to 18 songs sometimes. That's a lot. So it does add up.
Yeah, and it needs a lot of preparation because the unlucky part of lo-fi is, the lucky part is a lot of songs will be released over the time. But the unlucky part is they're all super short.
They're all super short.
Yeah. And that's so cool. I mean, having this this experience working for radio, I imagine
it's not even working. I do this for free. I don't get paid anything.
Okay.
I do it because I love it and I love supporting my friends and discovering new music and sharing it with people who probably wouldn't hear this kind of music otherwise. Like my friends and family listen and they're like, I've never heard anything like this before in my life. I was like, great, keep listening. You guys need the spotlight. And I would like to just have lo-fi recognized as a real genre too, because some people just act like it's just elevator music and it's not, it's beautiful. It's so complex sometimes. It's very layered and textured. And I feel like it deserves more recognition.
I think it just needs more time as well, because it's still kind of a new phenomena. And when it started, it was very, very small niche of listeners. You had like the student sites that listened to Lo-Fi Girl, Beats to Study. I mean, Lo-Fi Girl is now for, I don't know, 10 years reading the same book in the live stream. There was like this whole stoner side of people who also came to the old lo-fi genre, where you had this mixed compilations that were attracted to it, and then there was like nothing. Then it started.
There's like the instrumental lo-fi hip hop kind of style, right? Like Nujabes and Madlib, things like that. I feel like lo-fi has kind of become an umbrella or like a blanket term where all these subgenres within lo-fi are just kind of considered lo-fi.
Yeah, and they just started pop up recently. I mean, I just thought back to the very first beginning when the genre started growing, and now by scrolling through, let's say you scroll through TikTok and you see advertisement from like big companies, they use lo-fi beats in their advertisement. Like I stumbled across like this one company who is like renting flats, like called New Home, and it's like a portal if you're looking for a new flat or to move. And yeah, they put like lo-fi beats into their advertisement, and it actually makes sense. Like searching for a new home, and the music in the background of the advertisement is like super chill and cozy.
Yeah.
It really fits that.
No, it definitely does. I see different ads too, even for like children's toys, where it's like lo-fi beat in the background. I'm like, well, that makes sense. Like, or I'll be like, what is this song? This is actually like good. And it's just like some kid's toy. And I'm like, all right, like,
interesting.
That's cool though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool how this kind of, it's not that new anymore, but how it slowly grows into something.
Well, there's even like brands who are like using lo-fi to advertise their products. Like Lego did the Lo-Fi Girl compilation album with like beats to build Lego to, and even Nissan with one of their cars did like a lo-fi album. They even put it on vinyl as well.
Oh, that's so good. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I think it was the Nissan Aria. Don't quote me, I might be wrong. But yeah, they did a whole playlist of like beats to drive your Nissan Aria too, and then yeah, they put it on vinyl as well.
Okay, that's so cool. Like making playlists for a specific car to drive. Yeah. Obviously,
like,
we can listen to it.
Like, yeah, Relaxicorn that is on this Nissan Aria playlist.
Oh, that would be so funny. That would be actually so funny. Yeah, it would be amazing. It would be totally fantastic.
If you're a big Lego fan, be like, yeah, like Lego. I was on a Lego lo-fi playlist. Like, I can't imagine that. Like, and I know some of the artists on that playlist are like, man, I'm like a huge Lego fan. That was like a dream come true. So I think it's really cool, and I hope to see more of that, because I do feel like that'll bring more like legitimacy to the genre of lo-fi.
Yes. I totally wish for that as well. And actually, I am a big Lego fan. How about you?
I'm not really. I'm not great at building things, to be honest with you.
Big fan of this like art collection, where you can really build something to put somewhere in your house and it looks fantastic. They do like pictures that you can hang on the wall and stuff, or flowers.
Mm-hmm. Like all the Lego I have, I did not put together myself.
Okay.
Yeah. I have like the big Lego tuxedo cat and the Lego orchids.
Yeah, exactly. That's from the same, like this Lego art, I guess it's called.
Yeah.
I got like a picture of this giant wave from this super famous Japanese picture.
Oh, yeah, I know the one you're speaking of. Yeah. I want to get the big galaxy one, but I don't want to put that together. And it's like so many pieces. It would take somebody like 8 hours who's good at Lego to do it, I imagine. And it's also very expensive.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. This hobby is so expensive, but I think they kind of shifted their marketing to kind of 90s kids that are now grown ups and
Have
have
adult money to
jobs.
buy Lego with.
Yeah, exactly. Have adult money to buy Lego. Because I heard like from some co-workers and other friends that have kids that they try to show their kids Lego and are totally not into it at all. And I remember as a child, for me, it was like the best thing you could have. Like the best toys you could have were Lego for me. And I sometimes also like wished for like Christmas or something, just like the boxes, just with like pieces without like a specific set, only to get like a ton of pieces and then build something from scratch.
No, Lego was never really my thing, but like I do appreciate them. I like the look of them when they're completed. I think they're really unique. They're really cool. I'm terrible at building things like Lego furniture. Like that's not my forte. I struggle.
Yeah, okay, I see that. And oh, have you seen the Dungeons and Dragons set? They started doing Dungeons and Dragons collabs.
No, I haven't.
Oh, I think it's already out. They made like a huge Dungeons and Dragons cup. They made like a huge tavern from Dungeons and Dragons
so
with
cool.
a lot of details, like having mimics in that and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I thought because I know you're a Dungeons and Dragons fan, as I am as well.
Yeah.
That
it's
you
been
probably
a couple
heard
years
of
since
that.
I've played in a campaign, but yeah, I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons since I was 11 years old.
Oh, that's super cool. I only got into playing it for like the last few years.
I got really lucky when I was a kid. It was one summer between grade 5 and grade 6. One of my neighborhood friends, she was like the youngest out of 8 siblings, and her older siblings like DM'd for us and taught us like neighborhood kids how to play. And so like several times during the week, like during the summer break, we'd go over there and have like campaigns. But they didn't have like any figures or anything. They just had like little pennies and things that we used as like as miniatures and stuff. And it was really cool. They gave me like an introduction to the game, and then I played a few different campaigns in my adult life. And yeah, so I got into it at a really young age, and I thought it was just so amazing.
Yeah, it is. It is one of the most fun games to play, honestly. And you don't really need a lot more than just dice and the pen and the paper.
Really?
That's been all the additional stuff like miniatures or even maps or such are so optional.
Yeah, as long as you got a good imagination.
Exactly. That's why I wish to have discovered it way earlier as a kid, because as a kid you have this super blooming imagination. And yeah, when playing it, let's say now I'm nearly 30 and still have like a fun imagination, but you cannot compare that to the young kids' age.
For sure.
And one of the greatest, let's say, not digital games, in my opinion, that came out.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, have you seen the movie?
I have not, no.
No? Oh my God, you have to see the movie, the Honor Among Thieves. This one is so good. I mean, I saw the trailer and I firstly thought like, okay, it's just another movie about like a big topic. But actually they made it so well. It's we had like a lot of like franchise movies about specific games or whatsoever that were super mid, but this one is like really top notch. You have to watch
check it out.
Yeah, you have to. And so many
I'm honestly not a big movie person. I'm like the worst. People ask me all the time, have you seen this movie? And I'm like, I haven't.
Okay. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of movies, just the ones that really catches the attention. And as a fan of Dungeons and Dragons, they have so many insiders that you really get as a player and are not just for like the big public. And that's what makes the movie so great, yeah.
I just noticed your hat. Is that Snorlax?
Yeah.
I love that. That's so cool.
The thing is, in German, it's called Relaxo.
Yeah.
And it really fits like my Relaxicorn name because it's the Relaxo.
Yeah, I've been enjoying like playing the Pokemon TGC Pocket with you, and then I get the cards in German, like, and some of the names are just so funny to me. Like a tongue with Schlurp, and I was like, I love that.
Oh, when we trade cards, you get the German titles.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Too. So even though I have the card, I try to Wonder Trade with you because then I have like a German version of it too.
Oh, that's so cool. I probably didn't pay enough attention to that.
I think it's a setting you have to turn it on and off because I have like Japanese ones too with some Japanese friends.
Oh, okay. I have to check that setting out.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I probably don't realize that as well because I play the TCG now shortly in the local card shop and go like play in tournaments and stuff. And I use like English and German cards at the same time because I just go for like the cheaper version. When it comes to building a deck. And yeah, by seeing like always both names, it kind of melts into my brain. And sometimes I confuse the English and the German versions.
No worries. How many languages do you know, by the way? Is it just German and English? I was curious about that.
And Russian.
And Russian, that's so impressive. I'm always like, my mind is blown because I struggle with just English. I can't imagine knowing like 2, even 3 languages. That's so impressive to me.
Yeah, Russian is kind of my, my main language.
Your native language.
Native language, but from all the languages, it's kind of diverse on the skill set. I can talk like I talk in English, let's say. I can talk in Russian, but with way less words that I know. But I can say like, hi, how's it going? How was your week? And talk about like basic stuff from the life, but not more than that.
That's fair. That's super cool though.
Yeah, it is. But don't you have to also kind of learn French in Canada? Because it's the second language of the country.
So I'm not actually Canadian. I didn't know if you knew that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I'm just a permanent resident. I'm actually from the United States originally. I moved to Canada when I was 18 by myself. But yeah, there is a lot of French here. It's not like required by any means, but you do learn a little bit of French in like the school system here.
Okay.
Back home for me, I learned a lot of Spanish. I don't know any Spanish now, so didn't really retain anything.
Okay, fair point. Yeah, we had like French in the school as well. I only can like name a few food items like baguette and croissant and fromage. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The most important one, the cheese.
Exactly. Me too.
So you decided to move all by yourself to Canada with 18?
Yeah. Long story short, I met my online pen pal from when I was a teenager and I married them and I moved to Canada. Didn't work out after we had our daughter. But my life is here now, so I stay.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
And you enjoy like the Canadian
I enjoy Canada
vibes?
Way more than the United States.
Okay.
Not trying to bash on America at all. I just much prefer life here. I feel like Canadians are just way more chill in general too, and there's a lot less gun. Not that there isn't gun violence, but there's a lot of gun violence in the States, and I don't want to get too political. I prefer Canada.
All good. I think I had this conversations lately on the podcast that in percentage, and that's a fun fact, Switzerland has like the same amount of guns per head as America, but we have no gun violence here. But
don't you guys get like military training and stuff?
Yeah, exactly. And you take the gun with at home. but we have like nearly every male over the age of 18 have like an automatic rifle at home, but absolutely no gun violence here going on.
It's crazy. It's just so different. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, it is. It's a scary topic. And I guess Canada has a bit more nature, but I don't know. I wasn't been to America or Canada yet. I just imagine
Canada's huge. America acts like Canada's so small, but we're like way bigger or massive.
Yeah, I know from looking at Atlas, Canada's really big.
Mm-hmm.
Before, it's so funny and it's kind of dumb, but before like meeting so many Canadians on this musical journey and with the podcast and everything, I always had that image of like, the classic lumberjack Canadian in my head. It's so dumb. But
I had friends back home after I moved here, and I was like, "Oh, it's a hot summer day." They're like, "What do you mean? Isn't it like igloos and Inuit people and like dog sledding?" I'm like, "No, we have seasons too here. It's not just this isn't Antarctica,
Yeah. And I mean, but you have like horrible cold winters.
Yeah, like I was telling you before, the one day it was like minus 52 here. My first time in Canada, the first day
Celsius?
I came here.
52 Celsius minus?
Yeah, minus 52 Celsius.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that's
my first day ever in Canada back in 2007. The first time I came here was minus 56 that day. And me being the teenager that I was too cool for a coat, did not bring a coat. I had 2 hoodies with me and that's all I had. And I immediately went to a store and bought myself a coat and gloves and a hat. Like I was like, oh, it's November. It's not going to be that cold. Yeah, like it had blizzard and then it was minus 52.
What? In November?
And we had a ton of snow. Yeah.
I mean, November still kind of counts as autumn, like fall.
Not here. Winter usually is like mid to late October.
Okay.
We start getting cold.
Okay.
And lots of snow.
And
at least in my province. It's not like that everywhere.
But when does the winter end then?
Sometimes early April, sometimes early May. Here. Right now, it's not looking too bad outside. It's kind of springy. It was a little cold last night, a little bit of flurries, but the snow is pretty much melted now, so that's nice.
Okay, pretty much melted means still snow outside.
There might be a little bit left, yeah.
Oh, so we're talking about still around 1 degree or still in the minus?
Maybe not in the minuses, like 1 degree. I think it was like 5 degrees yesterday.
Okay.
And it was like windy and chilly, so. But then like come summertime, like in July, August, it's like up to 40 degrees Celsius some days here.
So it's like extreme other opposite.
Yeah, we're actually known for like having the most extreme like weather changes where it can be like plus 40 in the summer and then like minus 40 in the winter. We're one of the only places in the world that get like that.
That's so crazy. I could not imagine like spending the winters in Canada. Here,
they're pretty brutal.
Here it gets like minus 5 degrees at sometimes a little bit colder, but that's like the
like
normal.
That's having a barbecue on your deck weather, like sit out on the porch, have a coffee.
So I'm dying at minus 5 degrees. I don't even go for smokes anymore then. Because it's just too cold.
Yeah.
I could not survive that for sure. Not.
It was definitely a big change from where like I'm from originally, Salt Lake City, Utah. And we get a little bit of snow, a little bit of winter, but nothing even nearly that cold.
But you get used to it.
Yeah. I mean, in theory, you get used to it, but it still is like, oh my God. And you just like rush to your car and like, it's still business as per usual. Like we don't shut down. Like when we get lots of snow and it's really cold, like life just goes on. It's like, it's minus 50. My car isn't going to start, like, even though it was plugged in, because we have like block heaters on our cars to make sure that they stay warm. And the boss is like, well, you're still going to make it to work on time, right? And it's like, yeah, I'll get right on that.
I mean, did it never happen that it fell so much snow down that you open the door and it's just white and you can't get out of the house? I saw pictures of that, but I don't know if that's from Canada or somewhere else.
Definitely some places in Canada, I haven't personally experienced that. I've had where like I go to leave my garage and the snow's drifted up to like my waist and I have to like dig myself out. Yeah, it definitely happens in some places.
Crazy. Okay, but then you really cannot get to work if you're completely under snow.
Yeah, when I used to live out in the country, just outside of the city of Regina, and I had some snow days where they're like the highways completely blown over, and I can't do anything. I can't leave my little town until I clean up the highways because my truck will not make it.
Oh my God, this sounds so horrific for me.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. It's certainly not for everybody, and I don't think I could do the out of town living in the country again. It's just so hard to like be so far away from the city, and like it's a small town. Like there's no stores, there's no post office. It's just like houses and like maybe a town hall and a rink, like a hockey rink, and that's it. Like
more important than like some grocery stores. You need a hockey rink.
Make sure you have everything when you're in the city. Yeah, yeah. The hockey rink is more important than the grocery stores. That's Canada.
I thought that was a cliche, but
no, that was true.
It's confirmed.
A lot of the small towns like that are like that, where they don't have anything going on, but you got your hockey rink.
Yeah, but maybe that explains why Canada is so good at hockey. I mean, you have to be tough.
Oh yeah.
In Canada, and like other countries don't have to be as tough as that. So yeah, it totally makes sense that Canada is super good at hockey.
For sure.
Is it like and it's like the biggest thing in Canada, right?
It's a big thing, yeah. Well, it's a big sport. A lot of like football too, especially here. Like our team, the Saskatchewan Roughriders, that's huge. Rider culture here is what we call it.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Football is a thing now in Switzerland since, let's say, the last maximum 10 years. It wasn't here at all before.
Really?
Yeah. Now the first kind of club started. I don't know how big the scene is, but I know that we have nearby where I live, you have like a big area for soccer where they train and play and all that. And they have like 7 or 8 fields for like juniors to play soccer. And now they put like one field from soccer away and made a football field.
That's cool.
Like super recent. I have absolutely no idea about the rules of.
Yeah, me neither. Honestly, I'm like I've been to a couple football games here, and I'm like I don't know the rules. I'm just gonna root for my team and hope for the best. Like, I don't know what's happening. I'm totally ignorant to this, but it's good fun.
Yeah, Switzerland is a big like soccer fan place.
I bet.
But
a lot of European countries, though.
I only went to like 1 or 2 football games, and I cannot remember anything from the game. We just like had a good time and drank some beer. Not even spent some attention to the game going on.
I think that's just a lot of like the sports culture, anyways. Like go out with your buddies, have a couple beers, have a good time. Watch the game.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Cool. Kind of think about new topics, but my head is so empty right now. Spent the whole day like cutting videos. That's so exhausting.
No
doubt. But let's go to my question that I always ask. If you have like something that you learned or a learning life advice that you want to share with the listeners, what would that be?
Ooh, I was not prepared for this question. I should have been. Learning advice. Let me ponder for just a moment here.
Or just like something that you learned that you can give like as an advice. Could be literally everything.
I think just slowing down and appreciating the moments is a big thing. And thinking before you speak and just like being more thoughtful and intentional with things, like in every aspect of life, like, you know, being conscious of your environment, what you're taking in, because that all like affects your body, that affects your mind, like it affects every aspect of your life, right? just being more intentional with everything that you're taking in, music, media, food, everything like that.
That's a good one.
Slowing down and being intentional.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good one, especially in times we live in right now. That's really good advice. Also, I heard that in another podcast that it's such a huge difference if you, depending on what kind of music that you're listening to, and also like if you listen to like pop music, especially what the vocals say all the time. I mean, if you're listening to music that is all about depression and heartbreaks and all that stuff, then you will just kind of implement that in your own life. And if
I could even say, like, I go sometimes, I'm like, why am I so tired all the time? And I'm like, well, you've been listening for lo-fi for 8 hours straight while you're working today. That's probably why you're super tired and relaxed and chilled out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Or even just like, like food and stuff. Like if you like just watch all these ads all the time for like fast food and these cooking shows with these big greasy cheeseburgers on all the time, you're going to be more like inclined to intake that kind of food, right? Because you're being exposed to it, right? Like
that's true.
I really feel like you have to change your exposure to things, and it'll help change your mindset and like your habits. And anyway.
Yeah, here we have like mostly advertisement for cars and watches and stuff.
Yeah.
Or insurances. That's so dumb. We don't have that many fast food advertisements in Switzerland. We have some, like McDonald's is super big and got like the budget.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about that, but I think it's even forbidden to put up like cigarette advertisements here in Switzerland now.
Yeah, same in Canada.
But I'm not 100% sure about that.
They even have like where you can't advertise like fast food ads targeted towards children either.
Oh, okay.
That's a thing, which I totally agree with because,
So you like school places and stuff, no advertisement for like fast food or...
Yeah, or like even on TV, like they can't be like, hey kids, like eat a McDonald's cheeseburger, it's the best. Like, yeah, you can't do that.
I remember when growing up, that was like the main thing. They always just advertised the Happy Meal for kids and no advertisement targeting the adults at all. But also that changed.
Mm-hmm.
Now all the advertisement from McDonald's went to adults.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Anyway, I don't want to get too political or like conspiracy theories. So,
all good. Open to talk about conspiracy theories and such. Okay, but I think we're on a good time in the podcast now for an hour in. Let's end that here and maybe do a follow-up in the future.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
If you're down for that. And then we can talk about the new things happening at the new slot of your radio show with the 2 hours.
I'm really looking forward to it. It's so different, a little bit different format, but I think only good things can come from it.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. And I really have to catch up on like a actual show replay, not just playlists that you put up.
Yeah, you've missed all the shout outs I've been doing for you, man.
Oh, I feel so honored. No, I have really to dig it in. Send me some. That's just online to listen to the replays, right? I probably have already sent me some links, but by sending like
if you just go to my Instagram bio, there's a link tree to.
Oh, okay.
All my links. Yeah, there's really go to the Access Now radio.ca, go to the shows page and look for Lunar Lounge, and my whole archive is there.
Awesome.
It's not every episode ever, but like a certain amount of time.
Awesome. Looking forward to listen to this. So then thanks again for hopping on the talk.
Yeah.
It was a nice chat.
Thank you so much. It was great.
Yeah, it was. And also thanks for listening to the listeners of the podcast.
No, I love it. It's really great to like get to know the artists behind the music. And
thanks. Okay, then tune in next week and say goodbye to the listeners. Goodbye.
Bye.